Hi, and welcome to the very first episode of SoulBytes. This is something new that I'm doing, which is going to be teaching very short. Today might be a little longer. I'm hoping not. I'm going to keep these to about 15 minutes. Short excerpts either from the sacred texts of Torah and authentic Kabbalah, mystical Torah, redemptive Torah, or a very short class that will explain something, as we say in the lingo, from the outside. In other words, not directly from the text. But I want to give people who wouldn't ordinarily have the exposure to what actually this is all about, I want to start to give you a taste. So the big, it's getting hot in here. The big challenge for me, as always, is to keep things short and sweet. The Torah is an infinite well. The world is almost an infinite question mark at this point. We're ailing and we're ready. And so, you know, my desire is to pour it in, but I think for this venue, we're going to try to keep it to those soul bites, bite-sized pieces, and just enough to give you, to let you get your feet wet. As always, if you want more, you can check out my work at Gate of Unity or thegateofunity.com/school. Anyway, let's dive right in. I'm not saying we'll always be using this text, but we're going to start with this because this is called, I've showed this on lives before. This is the name of this book is Ner Mitzvah B'Torah Or, which means the candle of the mitzvah, of the commandment, and the Torah of light. The commandments, basically, whether it's the 613 commandments for the Jewish people or the 7 core commandments for all of humanity who believes in God and wants to create a sustainable and habitable world, a world of oneness. Those mitzvahs, those commandments, are designed to bring down a light into the physical world that is higher than creation, to take that infinite light, which we are not able to encompass from where we are as finite human beings in this constricted, contracted playing field that we call the world, to bring down that higher light into our reality. Now, we don't see it as it's brought down. We're seeing the results of it, though, now more and more as potential is bursting through from the earth, from science, technology, psychology, and spirituality, every angle, every level. That's a result of the mitzvahs primarily that have been done for thousands of years, and the Torah, Ner Mitzvah. Perhaps I'll explain more about why it's called the candle of the mitzvah. We ourselves are compared to a candle. The body is like the wick that holds the soul down, and then the interactions, the life that you interact with and bring godliness into that you affect through your soul light. It's like you're burning physicality, that level of physicality and life circumstances, emotions, etc., interactions that conceal God. You're burning up that concealment when you connect something to its purpose, when you seek the purpose in anything that happens in your life, when you use something physical, even your internet, whatever, as you're doing right now, if you're on this call, in order to create divine light, to reveal divine light, you're actually burning like a flame of a candle. It's burning oil or wax to create light. You're bringing light into the world. Learning Torah brings light. Okay? So I said this one might be a little bit longer than 15 minutes. I'm not sure yet because it's the first. But I want to read you the introduction to this book, and then we'll start a little bit of the text learning. This is Ner Mitzvah B'Torah Or. This book is called the Sefer Hisbonenus, which means the book of contemplation, Hisbonenus is a very specific word which points to the use of the mind in order to, the transformational use of the mind in order to change the brain so that your brain will perceive everything in a deeper, far more empowering, miraculous, connected way. So that's a process. And this book, where you could translate Hisbonenus as meditation, but it's not meditation like close your eyes and think of nothing or stare at a candle, even though we're talking about candles. It's actually contemplating concepts of divinity that are brought down through the holiest sages and the one in a generation of the souls of Israel brought down into the world, into the language of man. And each of these concepts, words, etc., contain infinite divinity that you can access as you interact with the concepts. Okay, let's go into the text. So we're starting with the introduction from the book Shar Yichud, which is the gate of unity, the gate of divine unification. And here's the introduction. Ner mitzvah v'Torah, or the candle of a mitzvah, the Torah of light, hanikra Shar HaYichud, which is called the gate of unification. So here's what the author of the book, the Mittler Rebbe, the second Rebbe of Chabad, says about it. Sheyeh kol ish asher chanenu Hashem das. This book is for every person who God graciously granted the ability to have consciousness, to connect to a deeper reality. Lahaskil ulahavin, to give that person the power to comprehend with the right brain and to understand and internalize with the left brain. B'yichud elokus, what the true nature of our universe, which is the unity of God with everything in creation. How is everything a manifestation of divinity, of divine unity? And it's one thing to believe that or to hope for that. It's another thing to actually start to experience that. That's what this is for. Das, consciousness, means a personal connection to a level of reality. So we're going for the level of reality, of infinite divinity, divine unity, divine oneness, divine love. And this happens on two general levels known as Yichud Ilah, Yichud Tata, the higher unity, the lower unity. This all explained in the text, not in the preface. But Pasuk Rishon, Shema Yisrael, as is, for those of you who are Jewish, you are already aware, and it's not only for people who are Jewish, it's for every human being, as it says, Kol Ish, every person who God has granted consciousness. So if you're a person to whom God has granted consciousness, or you want to use your consciousness, it's for you. So in any case, but if you're Jewish, you are probably familiar with the cardinal prayer of the Jewish people that children are taught from a very young age. Even babies, sometimes the first thing that a Jewish mother will say to her newborn baby, besides kisses and hugs, is Shema. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Hear, O Israel, which is referring to the soul of Israel, the core of the soul. The Lord our God, Hashem Elokeinu, God beyond creation and God as He is in creation, Hashem Echad, it's all one God. God is not in creation, although He is, creation is God. Creation is inside God. In other words, they say, God is not in the world is in God. Of course, God is also in the world, and the world is in God, and everything is holographic in that sense. But the Shema Yisrael is that prayer is actually a commandment to our soul. We are here, you are here, I am here. If you are a human being on the earth at this time, you are here to unify God. What does that mean? To find God everywhere. And when we say God, we're talking about the all-encompassing consciousness, purpose, will, presence, miraculous love, blessings, potential, all of it, of the Creator. Of what is the Creator? The one infinite unifying, bringing everything into being, force behind everything, including you and me. It's the core of everything. Okay, so Shema Yisrael is telling us as a commandment to unify, to understand, to comprehend, even with our left brain, with our bodies, with our cells, to process that God, the infinite God, and everything in the world is actually one. Again, not as faith, not as a concept, as your human experience. That's uniting heaven with earth. So in the first verse of Shema Yisrael, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And the second little verse, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuso Li'olam Ba'ed, His holy name will be blessed and drawn down into the worlds forever, meaning, again, infinite divinity coming down and revealing itself in every detail and aspect of the finite world, including every aspect of your life. Ish lefi havanas libo. Each person is meant and invited to learn this in accordance with the ability of his heart to understand. Now, how come it says the heart understands? Because, the brain understands. But when the brain has fully understood, like when your brain has absorbed divine consciousness, like a sponge is saturated with water, it will call out the innermost aspect of your heart. What is the innermost aspect of the heart, at the core of the heart? Is the ultimate isness of the soul. And that place, that aspect of the soul, it's really where the soul first becomes individuated as an actor in this divine creative project. That's the core of who you are, the core of who I am, who we all are, but it's deeply, deeply buried for a reason. So ultimately, when we get to the depth of the das, of the consciousness, of divine consciousness, that part of the soul will be illuminated in our minds, in our hearts, in our personalities, and how we experience life, what we are able to do. We're going for infinity. It's not a joke. That's what this is all about. It's as real as could be. But there's a path to access it. It doesn't come for free. Okay, back into the preface here. So in accordance with the understanding that's within the heart, the dato in his das, in his consciousness, she has Renu Hashem, and God will help him. You, should you choose to take on this mission. Kamosha Kasif David Lishlomo, Kamosha Amar David Lishlomo, like King David said to his son, King Solomon, Ki kol levavos doresh Hashem. What is in the core of every heart? What do all hearts truly seek? Now our hearts might feel like they're seeking, more money, more love, more pizza, more rent, whatever it is. It's not, those things aren't important. But what is the soul in your body for? It's seeking something. And again, the core of the soul is molubash, is invested in the core of the heart. Deep, deep, deep. What's it here for? What are all hearts at their core, and the oneness of all of us? There's a place where we are one. Literally, we were created as one, Adam. And then Adam was separated into two, Adam and Eve. And then, many, many, many parts. But really, we're all one in that sense. And that shows up at that deep core. What do all hearts want? All hearts seek God. That's why your soul's here. It's invested in your heart, your body, this crazy life to find God and reveal God right here, because that's the divine design. That's the whole purpose. So this is what King David told his son. I skipped something. And here's the promise. If you will seek him, that doesn't just mean want, that means do the work, change the brain, learn the secrets, transmute the old wiring, etc., everything that's in the way. But if you seek him, he will be found to you. You will find him. He will show himself to you. The inner essence, it's written, the inner quality. If you want to know what the hearts are really made of at their essence, they're made of godliness. But Amar David, this doesn't mean our reactive emotions. This is, again, the core of the soul, in the core of the heart. But Amar David, B'chol libi darashticha, and King David said, with all my heart, I am seeking you, God. I'm seeking you. Chulu, Drisha Zu. What is this seeking? Hainu. Where does the seeking show up? Like if you're looking for, a dollar that you left in your purse. So you're going to find it in your purse, and you're going to end up with it in your hand. What is the target of this seeking? How do we experience the finding? With all my heart, I am seeking you, Hashem, God. This seeking, this search, Hainu, ba'ayin hasechel shebalev. It shows up. The results of it show up in what's described as the eye of the mind, of the intelligence in the heart. So your highest consciousness, highest consciousness, which is not accessible to your human brain yet, comes into your brain, activates that core level of understanding of the inner soul in the core of the heart. And now that both of those things, the visceral oneness with God that the soul experiences, basking in the infinite light and bliss and love and longing for Hashem, God, and the highest consciousness that the super conscious of the mind, the inaccessible so far aspects of the mind are capable of, merge together and become your human experience. This is where God shows up. This is where God consciousness shows up, right here, right where you're sitting. But taking the very highest, the very deepest, bringing them out into the everyday. Again, it's a process, but that's what the world is about right now. That's what the world was always about, but we're up to that point. That is why, my friends, that is why the mystical Torah is available now in every language. When I first became, I was born Jewish. My grandparents were religious, but I thought religion was for old people. And I mean, I love them very much and I cherish the tradition, but like, what are you talking about? You know, I was very much American and college and whatever. But when I was awakened to the tradition, to the mysticism, to the meaning of it all, there was literally one book of mystical Torah. For those of you familiar, it was the first book of Tanya, the Likutei Amarim, translated into poor English. That was the only book available in English. I doubt that there was anything available in any other language other than Hebrew or Yiddish. Now there are thousands, hundreds of thousands probably, and videos, certainly hundreds of thousands, and audios and classes, all in the last, several decades. That is, the world is now being flooded with this divine information because of where we are, because this is the final stretch. But now that information has to go from the book into your mind and into your heart, activating the knowing of your higher mind and the understanding of your inner heart. So the mystical Torah is like a template, like an activating force that brings out the deepest insides of you. Again, I'll keep saying it's a process. This is the merging of heaven and earth. This is the merging of the infinite and the finite, God and man, your soul and your every part of you, body, ego, relationships. We're going for the gold here, and now is the time. And this is the modality. And then everything else that we see in the world, internet and the ability to self-publish and everything that we see in the world, that we can be in, our attention can be focused in one place at one moment, all of us. That is all just the carrier wave for this divine information. And the time is now. Let's just finish this. So I'll just repeat what I said. Hainu b'ayin hasechel shebalev. This means in the eye of the intelligence, that is within the heart. Mikera v'lev amok, from the very inner essence of us, with the deep, deep depths of the heart. Hulu. That's etc. That is the mission statement of this text. That is the mission statement of the Gate of Unity. That is the mission statement of the Gate of Unity School. It is the mission statement of everything that my work is about, that every Torah teacher's work is about. It's the mission statement of our generation. Now, we all come to it from different perspectives, from different backgrounds. Do you think that's an accident? Everything that you bring with you, and everything that you bring within you, everything that is about you, is your unique capsule of purpose and potential, into which and through which you reveal God. What does it mean, God? Again, that ultimate, infinite, unifying consciousness that is not only bringing the entire multiverse into being now and now and now and now and now and now, but that is the essence and core of everything. Showing up like the ocean, flowing through different, cups and buckets and hoops and whatever. It's the same ocean. It's the same ocean. And then everything that is within the ocean carries a different, amount, quality, color. It's just a very, very, very simplistic analogy, but that's what we're looking at. We're looking at infinite divine consciousness, the ocean of the universe and beyond. That's what we're meant to connect to, and in very personal ways, in very, I don't just want to say loving, but the end goal is to be in love with God and to feel how God's in love with you. And that's the state also of existence that we're moving into. Many things need to be unwound. Lots of traumas, lots of limiting beliefs, lots of fears, lots of habits and wiring in the brain. This book, among other books of mystical Torah, and also the healing work that I do to go along with it, and that others do as well. But this body of messianic redemptive Torah is designed, Hasidus, authentic Kabbalah, is designed to turn around. It's not to unwind, not to clear and get rid of your traumas, your fears, your preferences, your habits, your desires, your brain wiring. So that's all part of you. That's all the target. That's the playing field. But to imbue it, to tweak it, to adjust it, to flip it, or whatever it takes, so that instead of blocking out the truth of who, what you are, why you are, where you are, it actually becomes channels. Everything about you becomes a channel to reveal that. And that's the work. That's what we call the tzavasha, the demand of the hour. That's the work we're here to do now. Okay, like I said in the beginning, it's really hard for me to stop. But that's the SoulBytes for today. I'd love to see you comment, whether in YouTube or Facebook, like this if you like it, share it with your friends if you think it will benefit them. I mean, how could it not? The truth is, whether I'm your teacher or someone else is your teacher, you have many teachers, this is the lesson, this is the learning, this is the energy, this is the transmission that is seeking, yearning to connect with every single member of the human race at this time. This is the healing for the world. Now it's up to each of us to connect with it in whatever way feels right for us. And I am honored to be your guide to whatever extent you allow me to do that. And so like, share, comment. I'd love to hear what you think. How does it hit you? Is there something that it brings out in you that you'd like to share with us? And I am now broadcasting. I'll just conclude by saying I'm broadcasting in a few different places right now. But I want to move everybody over. I'll do this a few times, but then I'm going to stop and just broadcast, I think, into the Gate of Unity Release Your Soul Light group, because I really am now, I'm now in an intention to build that group into a community, to a soul tribe, a global soul tribe where you can feel safe and supported, share your light, reveal your light, become enlightened, help others, and I'll be there, and so will others, to help you along the way. So we don't have to connect anymore to just the people that we live next door to. We can connect to the people that we resonate, next to. We each have a tribe, a branch of the tree. And when we connect with the people in our branch, in our tribe, it enhances our vibrational light, it enhances our power, it enhances our own light, makes us feel at home, gives us those deep roots that allow us to shine our light into the world. Okay, catch you next time. Thanks, everybody. Lots of love.